Okay, I think we're ready to go with this live demo. Kind of got the GoPro attached to a hat, and that way you can see what I think I'm seeing. We'll both see the same thing. Anyway, let me put this down for a moment. And okay. First thing we want to do is look at this bag. I showed you that there's those three valleys in there, and there they are. Tie down straps for tightening everything down, and then I got your typical outer flap, and that's got a place for the coat in there and some other things, and a little guy here which you can put a bunch of stuff in, flat stuff doesn't take up too much room. And okay, so that's your basic bag. Now I've got another bag over here. This one over here has the zipper we're talking about. There's a zipper that you can undo here, and the end result is you end up with a bigger bag, but good luck using it with the zipper out as a carry-on. It'll be too wide. Alright, some other things we got here. Here's a day pack, and that's what the second bag, and you can put all kinds of stuff in there: cameras, phones, paperwork, passport, those kind of things. That becomes your it'll help you carry stuff over once you're in your hotel. Unpack it, put some of that stuff is probably going to want to go in a safe, and then other stuff you can just leave it in your room, and now you got this day pack that you can carry water, umbrellas, anything a jacket, anything you might think you would need for the day. So that's why it's a dual purpose. It not only hauls some of your luggage over there, but once it's over there, it can be used for a day pack. I've got some Ziploc bags here. Those can be handy. They don't weigh anything. You take 5 or 6 of them out of there, throw them in your bag. They don't take up any space. But you know, the question becomes, as you dirty up your clothes, what do you do with those? Well, until you get to a laundry, you're going to want to probably keep them somewhat separate from the rest of the stuff, and a good way to do that is fold them up as nice as you can, stick them in your Ziploc bag, zip the lock. You can sit on it to crush it down to nothingness, and then throw that in your bag. That way the rest of your stuff stays sort of fresh. At some point you will need to probably visit a laundry once, and if not, the other thing, you know, you just need to mix it up every day and wear something different. See those bounce pads over there? Stick some of those in a Ziploc, and every now and then turn one loose in your bag. And you know, if you don't want it touching your stuff, you can leave it in Ziploc and just unzip it. Unzip the Ziploc. Also got my ditty bag here. Most of the guys are familiar with that. I'm sure they have them for women too. They're probably just going to be in a pink or something like that. Shaving kit, whatever you want to call it. Shaver, toothbrush, cosmetics, any of those things can go in there. And of course, you know that if there's any liquids in there of over 3.5, then that's not going to pass your security check. And the other thing is, some of those cosmetic things, a lot of the ladies just put them in a Ziploc to get through security. Okay, down here you see a hat. That's my hat from the last time I was over there. I can buy that over there, or I can haul it with me, stick it in the overhead. It's not an expensive thing. It's just something to keep the sun off the top of my head. And so I will typically take that with me, or if I don't care to carry it, I'll just buy some inexpensive once I get over here. Here's the walking shoes / hiking shoes. I take typically just 2 pairs of shoes. One is going to be those, and the other one might be some loafers. I tend to wear loafers coming and going because a lot of places they want you to take your shoes off, and lace-up shoes are kind of a pain. Here's a towel. You'll see that I use that towel to separate the shoes from the rest of the clothing. Just goes over the top of everything before you put the shoes in the bag. Alright, swimming suit, As we discussed, those valleys, this stuff is all going in the valleys. We have underwear, socks, belts, those kind of things that I was talking about. I got 3 pair of shorts here. I got 3 pair of pants here. I got a t-shirt and some lovely pajama bottoms. And then I got a stack of shirts. And these shirts are all folded. If you can do it yourself, you might save a few pennies, but some people might, before they go to the laundry, have the professional launderers return them in a folded manner. I don't put creases in my pants, but if you do, you can fold these pants with it so that you'll have a crease, or you can just fold them so they be flat. I tend to fold them so that they be flat. So what we're going to do is go ahead and pack this bag. I think the first thing I'm going to do, though, is show you how I fold these shirts. Alright, I button them up all the way, button the pockets down. The collar, don't have to turn that down, just leave it up like that. Then you lay your shirt down. You can see I'm already getting some creases in there just from what I did a little while ago. Lay it out as flat as you can. If you got a bed that doesn't have a bunch of clothes on it, it's probably easier. Then you want to kind of fold it into thirds. Fold the first half in so it's about half of your pocket. Fold the arm back out because otherwise it'll get in the way of your next fold. Fold that over about halfway across the pocket. Fold this back over in there. Fold it in half and then fold it in half again. And there you have it. Now, if you do that to all your shirts, they're all going to end up with a pretty nice little crease in them. And if you really want no wrinkles, no creases, most of these hotels will have a ironing board and an iron, or they can certainly arrange to have one come to your room. Alright, so time to start packing this bag. So I'm going to get it up here where I can see what I'm doing. First thing you're going to do is you're going to start laying your underwear in there, or whatever you have to pick up. So you just fold it up as nice as you can, and it's better, like I said, overstuff these valleys. So double them up. That way you get more in there. You overstuff the valley, which will compress over time, so it's not a big deal to overstuff them. Alright, socks. Put some socks up there. More socks. More socks yet. These could be doubled over a little more. And socks. Socks and socks. And then these 2 belts here. Just going to lay those right in there like that. So, as you can see, we pretty well filled those valleys up. And not a lot of wasted space there. And like I say, it'll compress over time. Alright, so the next thing we can put in there is our shorts. So I just, they just fold right in. I kind of go back and forth on what goes at the top, what goes at the bottom. So waistband at the bottom, waistband at the top, and reverse again. Try to fill as much space as you can. Alright, so after the shorts go in, there's 3 pair of shorts in there now. And here I come back with the pants. Same thing. Belts at the bottom, belt loops at the top, and belt loops at the bottom. Well, you can see this bag's starting to really get pretty full, but guess what? We can get a lot more in there. Okay, here's my bathing suit. I'm going to throw that in there. My 1 t-shirt and 1 pair of pajama bottoms, just for running around the bedroom in. And now we're down to the shirts. Shirts go in like that. Collar in, and you can put those in there just like that. And we'll just continue that little operation, except we'll go to the other end now. Put a couple in that way. And same thing. Now I'm going to kind of keep more at this far left end here, because down here is where I'm going to end up with my shoes, and my shoes are going to take up a little space there. So, all right, put this last shirt in. He could go in like that, but I'm just going to put him in like that. All right, so shirts are all in, pants are in, everything's in. I got my little hand towel here. Throw that over the top. Tuck it in at the ends as best you can. And what we didn't see there is, I should have showed you this, but there's going to end up being some room down in here. Once we get this packed, you might be able to throw your little umbrella in there. All right, I'm going to grab my shoes here. And they're going to go in like that. And oh, and by the way, guess what? These shoes have room in there. You can put another bunch of socks in there if you so desire, because it's not gonna crush down in that heel area. So there's definitely some void in there that could be filled by something. All right, that's in. I used to be able to put my ditty bag in there and didn't even have to have a backpack, but I found the backpack was worth carrying anyway, just because it became a day pack once you got to your destination. Alright, so there you see it. We'll close it up. Might have to press down a little bit on those heels. Push them up a little bit to get that thing closed. Alright, there's the bag closed. You could slide that jacket in there. One of the things I didn't point out is, if you really want to dress it up a little bit, you can bring a sports jacket. Just use it as your coat coming and going on the airplane. That way you can fold it up and stick it up on the overhead. Doesn't take up much room, and it's a good way to carry it around. Over there you'll see I have a light jacket. That light jacket typically goes right in there. And then I got space here for all kinds of odds and ends, and room down here for all kinds of things. But you won't want to try to overstuff this, because at some point you're not going to be able to meet the requirements, size requirements. And if you take a look here, we're at about 22 inches, about 14 inches, and probably somewhere around 9 inches, which meets your size requirements. Last time I was over there, I took that bag, and they usually have some wooden boxes you have to stick it in to see if it fits, and I was able to cram it in there, so I met the carry-on requirements. Okay, I think that's about all I had, other than, like I said, over here we have the ditty bag, and that can go in this in your day pack. That way you got your toothbrush and all those things handy for your actual trip over and trip back. Put your magazines in there, books, reading material, and that will have to go under your seat. The other one will go in the overhead. So that's it. That's all I can think of for right now. Hopefully that'll help everybody out a little bit when it comes to packing. Sometimes just being able to pack is an awful lot of inertia for not wanting to take a trip, because, oh my gosh, how am I going to pack? Well, maybe this will help you. All right, that's it. We'll see you down the road somewhere.